What a pain in the ass.
Amazing.
Isn't it?
All right, hold on. I'm at Newsarama reading this story. So, the original story, Doomsday Clock was originally supposed to come out at the end of March.
Yeah.
Then, DC has informed retailers it has been rescheduled for April 10th.
Right.
Then, it is being rescheduled a second time to April 17th.
Okay.
Then, it has now been pushed back again and will release April 24th, a full month past its original date.
To be fair,
to be fair,
it's a good-looking book.
oh, it is. But here's the thing. Has Gary Frank ever delivered anything on a timely basis?
I mean, we'd probably have to look further back when he was doing X-Men, but no, that was Frank Quietly. Never mind.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
So I guess my question is, what other artists can you think of that when they're announced on a book, you just know that you're getting nothing on time?
Oh, man. Who was the artist who did the Sandman one? The one that...
Sandman Overture?
Yes, J.K.
Williams the third.
Yeah. But he's great.
That took forever, but at least his Batwoman book came out monthly.
Yeah.
Man, who is the artist on Final Crisis?
Oh, Crisis of Three Worlds. Wasn't that
J.G. Jones? J.G. Jones, yeah, J.G. Wentworth, the artist.
I think Vinnie Jones.
I said J.G. Jones.
We've been live for a couple of minutes.
I figured.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm going to look this up. Comic artists that
Jim Lee's a problem child.
Jim Lee is also, but at least with him, I can put the blame on the fact that he's also running DC.
I mean, I guess. But if you're running DC, don't put yourself on books.
I mean, I agree. At least Jeff Johns, as a writer, can knock him out a little faster.
Yeah, didn't he step down from his corporate role?
I don't know. Turns out there is no list online of commonly delayed and late artists.
Yeah.
I mean, even what's his face, Kingdom Come.
Alex Ross,
he doesn't delay his stuff.
That's true.
On time, and his stuff is super involved.
That's true. I think they get a very big buffer.
I guess, man, it sucks that so many DC events have been delayed back to back to back to back. Like, hold on. Talk about something.
Well,
good list.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, art is one of those things that it's really one of those fan things where we're like, I can't believe it takes forever. But like, I look at these books and man, there's so much going on that maybe they should take forever.
I guess, but I guess what confuses me the most is if you know it's going to take so long, why aren't you already building up a buffer and having these done and ready before you even start it?
I don't know. Comics industry is weird, man.
All right, hold on.
Nice. Yeah, this episode's titled Twilight for Boys. We were originally going to talk about Ready Player One. That fell through. So I'm not changing the title. It just is now.
Hey. All right. DC Universe getting on the map.
What part?
I don't know. That's what Perkins said.
Well, good. I mean, yeah, we both subscribe to the DC Universe app.
Does he mean the movie universe? Oops. I am on the wrong. account for YouTube.
Womp womp. The movie universe, I don't know that we can say that they're on track. They haven't done anything since Aquaman, and Aquaman was a good step in the right direction.
Well, actually, why don't we talk about it? Because DC's actually had a nice reversal of fortune lately.
Sure,
Aquaman's
but
great. Wonder Woman's great. I'm sure Wonder Woman 1984 is going to be great.
yeah.
James Gunn being put onto Suicide Squad sounds great.
Did you say Jim Lee or James Gunn?
I said James Gunn.
Okay, I thought you said Jim Lee.
No, and then Shazam's early reviews have been like shockingly amazing. So, you know what? Good for them.
It's nice, that they abandoned their plan and we're just kind of free flowing them now. I think DC. I think the main thing we should take away is that pretty much everything, this stuff is cyclical. And DC seems to be on the upward trajectory of a down period.
It's just, man, if only they had taken this approach of minimal studio interference from the beginning of the DC movies.
Yeah.
But it is not a coincidence that their best movies, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Shazam, have been the ones where they've allowed the directors to do their own thing and not jump in halfway and be like, well, what if we changed this?
No, I agree. I mean, I think they should have been going for lighter fare. The DC universe is inherently silly, and I think people forget that. And as gritty as you want to make it, Batman is a billionaire detective ninja who fights a clown, and that's always going to be silly. And you can gussy it up how you want.
I want to gussy you up.
All right, well, calm down. But it is what it is, And I think at some point, everyone started sniffing their own farts too much, and we're like, no, we have to make this serious, and it's really not.
I know, and I understand that they didn't want to make a carbon copy of the Marvel universe where it's like kind of fun and a mix of serious and fun, and then have everyone say they're just copying Marvel. But man, they lean too heavily into the Dark Knight trilogy aesthetic.
Well, and that's the problem with the Dark Knight trilogy is it made a gajillion dollars and has critical acclaim, and they chase that dragon.
Yep. Oh, so Perkins was in fact talking about the DC app. He said Doom Patrol is one of DC's best TV shows ever. And he's also very excited for the upcoming Swamp Thing and Stargirl shows. And they might be working on a Justice Society movie featuring Dr. Fate.
That's neat. So I was on the app the other day, and I love the breadth of content that they are available to get on it. I am surprised by some of the omissions, because there's not a lot of them, but the ones that are there are really kind of odd, because the Nolan Batman movies are not on there.
Okay, like what?
The Nolan Batman movies.
Oh.
I just literally just said that.
Yeah, well, shush.
Some other films, Man of Steel, Justice League, Aquaman, they're not on the app, and I don't expect Aquaman to be on the app now. But like Man of Steel, I kind of thought would be. I'm not quite sure why they're not on the app, but I like the app a lot. The only problem is the other day I was trying to watch The Adventures of Superman, the 50s TV show with George Reeve, and the app lagged out 5 times.
Really?
Would not let me finish it. I couldn't even get past the title sequence.
Do we have any information on when the second half of Young Justice is coming out?
I believe what I saw online was July.
Okay.
Young Justice, still very good. We both have our friend Andy who vouches heavily for Teen Titans. For Titans and Doom Patrol. I've not witnessed either of those shows yet because I don't have time.
Perkins says they're both great.
Well, I'll take Perkins' word for it.
Also,
I'm sorry. Go on.
No, I was I found what I needed to find.
Okay.
Just because I was it struck me lately that it used to be Marvel that was the one delaying all their events.
Mm-hmm.
Like Civil War had so many delays. Civil War 2 was worse. Secret Invasion had so many gaps between its releases that I had to go back and reread earlier issues to remember what the hell was going on. And I used to applaud DC for not doing that because I remember Blackest Night came out and it was just smooth. And
Yep.
that was a massive endeavor. But going back, Final Crisis was the first one with that big gap in between.
Mm-hmm.
Blackest Night was smooth.
Yeah.
Flashpoint was smooth. But it wasn't until Forever Evil was when it really started. And then Convergence had that delay that was so long that the Rebirth started before Convergence ended. You remember that?
I do remember that. I was trying to remember Convergence because it feels like Convergence was a lifetime ago.
No, like Convergence was supposed to be the storyline that brought everything back and led to Rebirth. And the finale took place came out like 3 weeks after all the new books launched, and it was crazy. It was like when Marvel did that with Secret Wars.
That's true. Secret Wars did have a little problem with that,
where its finale came out after all the new books based on its post-finishing reality started launching already.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. Then you have in this Rebirth world, every event they've done so far has been tainted with just there hasn't been many because Rebirth's only 2 years old, but Dark Knight Metal, Doomsday Clock, and Heroes in Crisis have all been super delayed.
Yeah.
So we are in a period where you cannot trust DC to pop out a timely event. And I don't even know what their new event's called. Although speaking of not, Chris, let me tell you something.
Tell me something.
I'm gonna pull it up.
The new event, I think, isn't that going to be Deceased?
Oh yeah, Deceased. See, I trust Tom Taylor to write a good story, even if I question the fact that it's DC trying to do Marvel Zombies 6 years after the fact, or 10 years, I don't even know. Chris, so Marvel started teasing their new event.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to read you the tagline. So you read digitally. I don't even know if you see this because it's technically an advertisement.
All right.
So last week, every issue had a blank page in it that had a single phrase on it. No information about what it meant. No information about what it was for. It was a phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? Oh, damn it. Hold on.
Because I have not seen any ads, any strange ads in my Marvel books. And I do read everything digitally, so.
I think this was it. Yes. When two aggressive species share the same environment, evolution demands adaptation or dominance. That was it. That's all the page said. You flipped it. There was no explanation. And every Marvel book last week had that phrase on it. Okay?
Right.
This week, in the same manner of a slightly dingy white page,
okay.
It just did this. Hickman 2019.
Okay.
So whatever Marvel's new event is, Hickman will be writing it. So the man behind Secret Wars, and also the man who has currently, count them, 3 Image books that are in limbo. No one knows when Black Monday Murders, Dying in the Dead, or God is Dead will ever finish. But that's neither here nor there.
He's a very busy man.
Hickman hasn't written for Marvel since he finished Secret Wars.
Yeah, and Secret Wars was a really great swan song if that was his last moment. Just basing on what you've said, it sure sounds like it's an X-Men thing.
It sure does. And considering Cyclops is now back, woo woo.
Yeah.
Hashtag best boy.
Have you been reading the Uncanny X-Men?
I have. I've not read. I read everything that led up to this new Age of Apocalypse explosion stuff.
Age of X-Men, yeah.
Yeah, but I have not read any of the Age of X-Men spin-offs. I just read Uncanny.
Yeah, that's all that I read also. So X-Men are in kind of an interesting point. We're back to basically the 198 days. When all the mutants were depowered except for like the cast of X-Men. So we're back to that point, kind of, but I think they're trying to take another crack at it. We also got Cyclops and Wolverine back to life.
Cyclops and Wolverine both back to life, both together, teaming up to try and save the X-Men. Because at the start of the Age of X-Men, every other X-Men was basically shunted off to an alternate dimension, I assume.
It's funny you said that. I was thinking of the word shunted too.
It's a great word, right?
It is. It's a good comic book word.
It is. So anyway, like every other X-Men you can think of, like, okay, the only X-Men that are left in this book, in our true reality, as it were, are Cyclops, Wolverine, Cyclops' brother Havoc, Colossus' sister Magic, and then the New Mutants Wolfsbane, Karma, and Mirage, who have all been infected by the Phalanx. What's that dude's name? Friend?
Oh, Warlock.
Yeah, Warlock. They've been infected by Warlock, like he's in them to keep them alive somehow. I who even knows? And then Jamie Madrox, the Multiple Man.
And X-Force also exists.
I've been reading X-Force, so I didn't know if they were still around.
They are still currently on Earth. They are in a foreign European country.
Okay.
And seem to have no idea what's happening because they're busy with their own shit.
Word.
It's also being led by Team Cable, so that's kind of.
I do like Team Cable.
Do you? I don't really care.
Apparently, Hope is now leading a terrorist organization.
Yeah, she did show up in like a surveillance photo.
Crazy.
But
Mutant Front is what she calls herself.
But I trust my girl Hope. So.
You have hope that she hasn't turned bad?
Yeah. My favorite thing about Uncanny X-Men is them, or X-Force, one of the X books, where they really just hand wove away Bishop trying to kill Hope and Cable.
Yeah.
Did you read that?
Oh yeah. The epilogue where Jean Grey comes to terms, or Hope comes to terms with it.
That's right. So it's basically like it's like, hey, I did bad things. I'm real sorry, and everyone's like, all right, Bishop, you're cool.
Yeah, my bad.
And that's kind of weird that Hope especially is not holding his feet to the fire for killing multiple timelines.
It's fine.
Is it?
It is. It's fine, Chris.
It's not fine.
It's fine.
That time traveling fuck up.
Bruh.
Although he lost his crown to Beast.
He did. He did. Bishop gave way to Beast. Who knows when we'll have our next time traveling fuck up.
It's gonna be Blink because we have to keep it in the B's.
So Chris.
What up?
I'm moving on to a brief video game news.
All right, hear me.
Because the two big news is this week is there's three, but you didn't watch the Nintendo Direct, so it would just be me talking at you, and that doesn't seem fun. All you have to know about that is history was made with Microsoft first-party game Cuphead coming to the Nintendo Switch along with Xbox Live and achievements. What a weird world we live in.
Yeah, how is that going to work? Is it just going to be tied to your gamer score?
Yeah, well, you sign into Xbox Live onto your Switch just because it's your Switch. It's like playing Minecraft. It's all doesn't matter where you're playing from. You're logging into an account. So you log into your Xbox Live account, and if you don't have one, you make one. And that's why it's such a good idea for Microsoft to do this. The Switch is huge, and having all of the Switch users also paying for Xbox Live, I mean, come on. It's
a pretty good one.
That's a no-brainer, buddy.
Yeah.
And so I'm just saying, like, Ori is on the way too. That wasn't announced today, but it's pretty much one of the worst kept secrets around. And who knows what else in the future. Microsoft has been very aggressive. They've even talked about being open for their games hitting PlayStation. They are less about they're going to always make Xbox consoles the best place to play their games. So, and they're still going to make them, but they're becoming more of a service and just letting their stuff be everywhere. And so they make money from more people, you know?
It makes sense.
It
I
does.
don't see. I don't have like a negative opinion of it. I do think the trend to digital only, this digital only universe we're going to, is a problem. Mostly because games could vanish like that.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Until digital finds a way to give me steelbooks, I'm gonna fight it every step of the way.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm pretty pro digital, but the notion that the $50 I spent on Spider-Man, and they come out tomorrow is like, by the way, the guy who motion capped Spider-Man is a pedophile. We're taking the game down.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, okay, well, can I have my $50 back? And they're gonna say no. So it's something that the future needs to figure out.
Yeah, pretty much. However,
because it's this new rumored all digital Xbox is it sounds great.
Here's the thing. That I think that'll be true, but it's only going to be one SKU. There's going to be an all digital version of the next Xbox. It's not going to be only digital. Like, you're not going to be forced to do it. There will be a lower end, cheaper model, I believe, without a disk drive or anything. That is my prediction, is that we'll have two SKUs. Think of it as like the 360 launch where you had the 20 and the 60 gig.
Oh yeah, those are
this
good
time
times.
There'll be physical media, digital only.
We lived through some dumb hardware launches.
Man, remember how everyone was like, 20 gigs is fine. Like, PlayStation 2 8 megabyte memory card was all I needed.
Yeah. We were idiots. We lived through a dumb time of hardware.
But anyway, Chris, so the NPD numbers just came out.
Love NPD numbers.
2019. Now let me ask you something.
Yeah,
what do you think the top selling game in February was?
February. Far Cry New Dawn.
That is false.
Yeah, I figured.
It's Anthem.
Oh, that's surprising. Everyone hates Anthem.
No. Here's the thing I've learned about gamer outcry. The more you hear people complaining on Twitter about it, the less it actually probably matters to the masses.
It's kind of an echo chamber.
It is. I mean, Fallout 76, Anthem. I mean, we live in a world where these games are releasing super broken, but it hasn't seemed to stop people from wanting to play BioWare's Iron Man Simulator. Now, whether or not it stays that way, these kind of games live or die on their retention, not their initial month sales. So who knows? Now, here's the thing, Chris. If Anthem was number one,
yeah,
what do you think number two was for the month of February? And I don't think you'll guess unless you cheated.
Let's have a look-see.
No, don't look.
Is it Crackdown 3?
It is 100% not Crackdown 3. We'll get to that.
I can't wait. Is it Tetris 99?
Nope.
What is it?
That was free, Chris. I don't think that counts.
All right. Well, what is it?
Jump Force.
God, those fucking nerds need to be shoved in a locker.
The weebs are strong. Look, Jump Force as a game looks and plays super rough, but I don't think that matters to people when you can punch Yu-Gi-Oh in his dumb fucking head as Goku.
Yeah, there is kind of like a fanficky quality to it that I would get, that would entice people to at least try it.
I mean, also people forget that the last time we got a crossover game was early in the PS3 era. It was oh god, what was it called? J-Stars.
Oh yeah,
J-Stars.
Wasn't that on the 3DS? There was a version of that.
There was some Superstars on the 3DS as well, but those never came to America. J-Stars did come to America, but it wasn't that great. But this was and Oh, that reveal at E3, like they handled it really slickly. Again, I think this will drop off the face of the earth next month. Anime games have a very strong early launch with the weebs, and then after they buy it, there's no one else. Unless
Yeah.
it's Dragon Ball, that's the exception. Then we got Kingdom Hearts 3 holding over, Far Cry New Dawn. Metro Exodus had its best launch for the franchise ever. Good for it. Resident Evil 2 still on the list. Red Dead Redemption isn't going anywhere either. Is Grand Theft Auto or Smash. NBA still there. Call of Duty is still there. The rest of the list is all just your usual suspects, I guess. But Chris, there was one notable missing game from this month. And it's a game that we both enjoyed.
Was it The Liar Princess and the Blind Prince?
Yes. How'd you know?
And it just came to me out of the blue.
So Crackdown 3. Let's talk Crackdown 3.
Oh man, we probably should talk Crackdown 3. We haven't given it like a real deep dive, have we?
Well, here's the thing: is that Game Pass? People are blaming Game Pass for the low sales of Crackdown because not only did it not crack top 10 in its opening month, it didn't even crack top 20, and on top of that, it didn't even crack top 10 of just counting Xbox games.
Yikes!
And people say, "Oh, it's because of Game Pass," but for the past year and a half, Phil Spencer has pointed out that Game Pass has led to increased sales of games. And that's why in their launch months, both Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2 both debuted at number 1. So that argument doesn't hold water. So what happened to Crackdown?
Well, it's not very good.
I mean,
it's very short.
It's not a good game. You're right. I mean, the two of us finished 50% of the game in a couple hours together because we just friggin' bum rushed every boss.
It took me 10 hours to finish the whole game.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a long game. It's not a great game, but it's a Crackdown game.
Yeah, and here's an important distinction that has to be made. It's not a good or great game. It is, however, a very fun game.
Yes.
And we both had a blast playing it.
And I'm proud to say that it is much closer to Crackdown 1 than Crackdown 2.
God, Crackdown 2 sucks.
Crackdown 2 is right up there with Devil May Cry 2 in disappointing sequels.
Yeah. Yeah, it's real bad. I think the kind of negative press that had been swirling around it for so long really took a hit on it. And even up to the week of its release, we weren't 100% convinced it was actually going to make it.
Oh, I agree. But see, that's what's fascinating is that Crackdown was hit with a lot of bad press leading up to its launch and its delays and everything. But the exact same thing can be said about Anthem, a game that was continuously delayed, kept getting trashed by people that played it. As the more information you found out about it, the less you liked it. Fallout 76, same thing. Like, nothing about that game leading up to launch got people excited, except the hardcore fans. And then post-launch, even worse. But Crackdown, there's been like some kind of war between like good versus fun.
Yeah, and I think 76 and Anthem have the benefit of the doubt for their pedigree. I forget who developed Crackdown, but
Sumo Digital.
Yeah, and that's no BioWare or Bethesda. So,
you know what's crazy about Sumo Digital? Well, keep finishing your thought, and I once this loads, because I want 100% make sure before I make this claim.
Sure. I think Fallout's a beloved franchise. BioWare is a beloved developer. And everyone was going to try Anthem at least a little bit.
Yep. Okay, I was right.
Okay.
Guess what game the makers of Crackdown 3 also made?
Oh, Crash Bandicoot?
Little Big Planet 3.
Huh.
Yeah.
Did you like 3?
3 was okay.
Okay.
By the time 3 came out, the fact that they were also kind of samey, like 2 was the pinnacle where they refined and improved everything about 1. and then 3 came out, and by then you were like, all right, I guess it's just another Little Big Planet game. Plus, it was made by Sumo and not Media Molecules, so there was kind of like got that it wasn't really made by the same people feel.
Right. They all looked alike to me. I couldn't get into Little Big Planet. I don't care how cute that fucking Sackboy is.
Sackboy is amazing.
Yeah, do you want to get that thought out?
Sorry, I got coughing.
Do you have like? Were you working in the coal mine all day?
Yes.
You got the black lung?
Yes.
Okay. No, I think Crackdown. I mean, it's been over 10 years since Crackdown 2, so, and it wasn't. Crackdown 1 was beloved. It was very fond memory for those of us who lived through that launch of the 360.
And Crackdown was a huge surprise. Most people bought it solely because it had the Halo 3 demo.
That's absolutely the only reason why I bought it.
Just like so many people played Zone of the Enders for the first time because it came with the Metal Gear Solid 2 demo.
Yeah, and it worked, but Crackdown 2 was such a nothing.
Such a nothing.
So it was kind of a dead franchise, and they brought it back and they made basically Crackdown 1 again. But it doesn't look like an Xbox One game. It looks pretty cheap on a lot of fronts. And I mean it does play like Crackdown, and I'm very appreciative of that, but you kind of need something more. And this multiplayer mode, I don't know anyone who jumped into it.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly didn't.
And also I think they might have shot themselves in the foot by saying everything in the game is 100% destructible, and then later saying no, the multiplayer is 100% destructible. The main game is just the game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think we'll be hearing more about Crackdown. I'm sure everyone at Sumo will be shot in the streets. As I understand how game companies work. If your game is good, you can be fired. If your game is bad, you'll be double fired, I guess.
Yeah.
So
what a weird world we live in, huh?
Yeah, it's real fucked up. This is our most successful year ever. We are laying off 4,000 people.
Yeah, it's thank you for bringing us to record profits. See you guys never again. Yeah. Peace.
Smell you later, dorks.
So Chris.
Yeah.
Tafur.
Yeah, what up?
I want to switch back to comics for a second.
Okay. Can I tell you one comics and game related thing that you sparked in my mind?
Please.
You called Anthem BioWare's Iron Man.
Yeah.
And I've been rewatching Wolverine and the X-Men.
Okay.
This year.
Because it's amazing.
Well, the first 5 episodes are not so good. After that, it gets real good, real quick. I digress. There's an episode where they're hanging out at the mansion and Bobby is playing video games. And instead of animating a crap video game for them to play, they are using gameplay footage of Iron Man.
For like the PS3 Iron Man game?
Yeah. So you got this semi-realistic Iron Man suit flying around, and you've got animated characters walking around it. It's very odd.
Interesting. Okay.
It's very odd, and it also is so jarring that I couldn't help but laugh at it. It's so shitty.
Huh.
We were really pushing that Iron Man game back in 2008.
I mean, it's so weird to remember that am I still here?
Yeah. I see you. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no.
And I'm back.
Hey, there you are.
Yeah, I started getting weird messages about my internet like not loading. I'm like, oh well, that's not gonna last then for streaming. What was the last thing you heard me say?
You were saying it's so weird that.
Okay, it's so weird that the Marvel and the MCU is now so old that their initial movie that started it all came out back when we still had licensed video games about every movie.
Man, yeah, that was quite a time.
I mean, think about that. That was still that time. By the time Iron Man 2 came out, that era of video games was over.
Yeah.
But Iron Man 1, we were still in that heyday of, oh, is there a video game coming out based on a comic book or an action series? Making a game about it.
Yeah, we didn't really know what we were doing back then.
Now when you get a comic book game, it's because they've spent 6 years working on it, and it's a fucking masterpiece.
Meticulously crafting every detail.
It's insane, the quality jump of video games for comic books since that era ended. I think the only game of that generation that excelled was X-Men Origins Wolverine. And that was because it had nothing to do with the movie, and it was just like a fucking God of War game with Wolverine on it.
You know, I love that. I love the first level of that game. Your copy would not play in my Xbox. It was very frustrating.
Yeah, womp womp.
Yeah.
But yeah, one day we should go back and do an episode about our favorite licensed video games.
Oh man, that's gonna be rough.
But it has to be like early PS3 generation and earlier, because otherwise it would just be like, well, I love Marvel's Spider-Man by Insomniac and all of the Arkham games.
Yeah.
You know, like that, it's cheating at this point.
Yeah, you gotta find something that's there, but it's also like a little bit crap. Like the PS1 Spider-Man game.
Yeah, or everyone's go-to like greatest of all time is Spider-Man PS2.
Right.
Or any of the Capcom Disney games, like the old platformers, like Aladdin and Little Mermaid. Back when those games were amazing.
Yeah, there's a fine line of the early period, which is awesome, and the late period, which is awesome, and the middle period, which is
when THQ, back when the original THQ was making every Nickelodeon show with 17 different games. Like, how many SpongeBob games came out within a span of 5 years?
They probably have like a 10-page Wikipedia page for it.
Oh, we're pulling it up now. You ready?
Do it, yeah.
SpongeBob video game.
Do you think THQ proper would have gone on 8chan to answer questions?
No. And boy, what a bad look to do that a week before the New Zealand terrorist fucking posted on 8chan, where all of his supporters were like, yeah, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, that's cool.
THQ thought that was the place to expose everybody. All right, so the very first SpongeBob game, what system did it come on?
It's come on Game Boy. It's had to have come on PlayStation 1?
Game Boy Color in 2001.
Okay, yeah, that's about right.
Followed by the PC's. So that was the Legend of the Lost Spatula. Sorry, we're going on a bit of a tangent here, but this is fucking fascinating.
Okay, go for it.
Operation Krabby Patty on PC. And let it be known that SpongeBob is just below our generation of like growing up with it.
Yeah, I don't understand SpongeBob.
SpongeBob came out and blew up like right as we got too old to be watching Nickelodeon cartoons, like before Avatar: The Last Airbender brought us back.
Yeah.
But like that Nicktoon era was over for us. Like Doug, Rugrats, all that. That wasn't us.
No.
Maybe you in the comments, but
we're old, so.
All right, so anyway, that was the very first PlayStation / Game Boy Advance game was called Super Sponge. And I want it to be known that all three of those games came out within months of each other in 2001.
Wow, really?
2002 brought PC's Employee of the Month. And this is I remember seeing this all the time when we worked at GameStop. This was the first PS2 and GameCube one, Revenge of the Flying Dutchman.
I remember that one too. I remember
looking at the cover, and I'm like, oh my god. Then apparently it came out in the Leapster. Remember that? SpongeBob Saves the Day.
No. Oh wait, yeah, I do remember the
This one I remember even more. It's the one with SpongeBob wearing his stupid General Army hat, saluting.
Oh yeah.
Bikini Bottom for GameCube, PC, PS2, and Xbox.
God, I remember that.
Oh, did you know there was a SpongeBob SquarePants Teaches Typing game?
No.
Oh, there was in 2004, baby.
Wow.
Followed by the Interact TV, SpongeBob's Krusty Krab Adventures.
Is that like one of those Game Boy games that just had video files in the
No,
worst possible quality?
Oh, hold on. I'm clicking on this. It looks like it is a. It looks like the SpongeBob equivalent of those board games where you put a VHS in and then follow it along.
Oh no!
Except this was a DVD that you put into your player and played along on the TV.
Okay.
So then the next big one was the SpongeBob SquarePants movie game.
Right.
Followed by a bunch of double packs where they bundled together older games. The next true one would come out a year later with Lights, Camera, Pants for GameCube, PS2, and Xbox. So far, the PS2 has had 1, 2, 3, 4 SpongeBob games. Now, the first Nintendo DS and PSP game, The Yellow Avenger, followed by Nighty Nightmare, followed by the first one on the Nintendo Wii, Creature from the Krusty Krab, SpongeBob's Atlantis SquarePantis, SpongeBob SquarePants Through the Wormhole for the Leapster 2. What the fuck is a Smart Cycle?
What?
It was a Fisher Price physical learning arcade, and it had a SpongeBob SquarePants game that taught letters, spelling, numbers, and counting.
All right, if you say so.
Xbox 360 arcade got Underpants Slam, so that was their big exclusive.
Is that a wrestling game?
Sure as fuck looks like it.
All right.
Well, whatever. Fists of Foam on the Leapfrog Leapster Explorer. Drawn to Life SpongeBob Edition. Okay. SpongeBob versus the Big One Beach Party Cook-Off. Now we've gone firmly into the DS land. SpongeBob's Truth or Square.
Ugh.
SpongeBob's Boating Bash for the DS and Wii. SpongeBob Squiggle Pants for the 3DS and the Wii. SpongeBob SquarePants Tooncast Studio for the PC. SpongeBob and the Clash of Triton for the PC. Oh, here we go. SpongeBob Surf and Skate Road Trip for the Kinect.
Oh, that's got to play great.
Oh, man. Plankton's Robotic Revenge for the DS, 3DS, Wii, Wii U, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360.
Oh, my God.
And, sir, the final SpongeBob game before Activision lost, or THQ and Activision lost the rights. Because, so the Kinect one was the last one THQ made before it went under.
Yeah.
Activision made Plankton's Robotic Revenge, and the final game, SpongeBob Hero Pants, for the 3DS, the Vita, and the 360 in February 3rd, 2015. So, what that means is we have not had a SpongeBob game in 4 years, unless you count his appearance in Nickelodeon Kart Racers, which came out last year.
I don't. Okay,
so that means from 2001 to 2015, 14 years, there have been 1, 2,
this is great.
29 SpongeBob games, not including bundle packs, spin-offs, and crossovers with like the Nicktoons series of games.
That's incredible. They really just ran him into the ground.
And if you count SpongeBob crossovers, we have Nicktoons Racing.
No, that doesn't count.
Nicktoons, Nickelodeon Party Blast, Nickelodeon Toon Twister 3D, Nicktoons Basketball, Nicktoons Freeze Frame Frenzy, Nicktoons Movin', Nicktoons Unite, Nicktoons Winners Cup Racing, Nicktoons Battle for Volcano Island, Nicktoons Attack of the Toybots, Nicktoons Android Invasion, SpongeBob SquarePants featuring Nicktoons Globs of Doom, Nicktoons MLB, and Nicktoons Kart Racers. Wow. We went down a fucking rabbit hole. Kogasu and Shad go with Nicktoons versus Capcom win.
Oh, man. I would love to see it, just because I think all the Capcom people's heads would explode.
All right, final topic for today, Chris, before we call it a day.
Sure.
The return of one of the greats.
Yeah, you texted me about this. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I'm so excited.
We won't discuss it too much then, but look, in the world of Image Comics, with DC and Marvel, you generally know that you'll get a book once a month, maybe once every other month if there's delays, sometimes 3 times a month if you're Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
There have been a handful of Image books that have been around since. This is one of as I build up to this. Would you say, Chris, that it's fair to point out that this book we're about to talk about was on the forefront of the resurgence of Image?
Yeah, I would chart that mostly to Saga.
Yes, but Saga was the first. But this book came out, if you'll remember, like a month after Saga.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's in that that wheelhouse.
In my mind, the big 3 that propelled Image to superstardom, outside of course, Walking Dead and Invincible, the Robert Kirkman books.
Right.
But the ones that got it away from the stigma of the Spawn like era of what Image used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Saga, Sex Criminals, and Lazarus. And Lazarus has returned after an incredibly long period of waiting, and they're moving to a quarterly release schedule now.
Yeah, and that's the most interesting part, because Lazarus is very good. Greg Rucka and who is the artist?
Michael Lark.
Michael Lark have done an amazing job of building this very plausible world of a future oligarchy and genetically engineered super soldiers and the whole shebang. They've done an amazing job. The real test is going quarterly and basically just releasing trades only.
What? Yeah, like in like mini trades, like so it's fascinating because I've read it, and the extra length really does a great job, and they've renumbered / rebooted it, even though it's continuing the same storyline. They dabbled in this briefly with the 6-part miniseries of X plus 66, talking about the year in between Risen, which is this series in the original, where the year of war, basically. We're now jumping into the war's been going on for a year, and it's not looking good for the Carlyles.
I wouldn't expect it to, but
they rarely do.
Yeah, I don't know if we talked about this. Did you see that Greg Rucka is going back to DC for a little bit?
No.
He's doing a Lois Lane book, which I know is very near and dear to his heart.
Okay, I'm down. If you give Greg Rucka any female character, he will turn it into gold.
Yeah.
Can you name a single female character that he has ever dropped the ball with? Because he crushed it with the female Punisher.
Oh man, the only book of Greg Rucka's that I don't love is Black Magic.
Is that even still going?
Huh?
Is that even still going?
Yeah, it's back. I think it's back at any rate. I don't know. I really didn't care for it, but I mean, like, without exaggeration, I think Greg Rucka is my favorite comics writer, and I think I will follow him anywhere if he tries anything. So I'm very excited to see that this evolution of Lazarus to trade form, and I think it's honestly good for a book like Lazarus that's so dense and lore heavy to kind of have the space to flesh it out.
Like, for you, Chris, what's your definitive Greg Rucka book? Chris,
for me, his definitive book is Checkmate.
Oh God, so good.
And like that was a gun to my head, blurred out answer of Checkmate. Gotham Central is amazing.
And I know you're also a big fan of his Queen and Country series too.
Queen and Country, his Wonder Woman run was amazing. His Punisher run is
Punisher. His Batwoman. His Kate Kane is fantastic. Have you read Stumptown? Because that's his other fairly recent independent book that I've heard really good things about, but have never read.
No, it's getting a TV show very soon, though.
Interesting.
So no, I mean he's as close to. I met him twice at Comic-Con.
Oh, he's so amazing too.
He is. He remembered me the second time, which I thought was the most stunning part. I miss his light on Twitter, but
yes. By the way, you know what I would say his most underrated superhero run is? Outside of Checkmate, who only you and me know?
Yeah.
The Question. Renee Montoya Question.
Oh, yeah. I remember in the glow of the New 52, I wanted for years a Greg Rucka Question book, and it just never worked out. And I'm sad, but, you know, he went on to create better things, so it's not it's not a huge loss.
Man, I'm going over his stuff and just.
I recently reread Checkmate recently.
Yeah.
And I forgot that at the very end, the Rook saga was kind of a real quick wrap up.
Right.
I forgot entirely about that, and it made me sad reading it because I thought it was good, but it was just like, and we're done. Everything's okay.
Well, at least I like it in the sense that it gave us resolution, which you don't get.
Yeah, and they gave us a resolution that was promptly never mentioned again.
I know. That's the problem with stuff like that. Like when Gail Simone or Greg Rucka does something phenomenal, and then it's like it's over, and then no one else picks up that ball and runs with it.
Well, even recently, like Midnighter and Grayson, the Spiral stuff. I don't read Nightwing. Have they mentioned anything with Spiral?
Well,
yeah.
Well, they have. Like Spiral exists, and what's her face, the Huntress.
Yeah.
She's still in charge of it, so they pop up every now and then. But I've actually dropped Nightwing.
You're not with the Rick Grayson?
Who?
The Nightwing that got shot in the head.
Was that not Dick?
Well, yeah, but they changed his name to Rick. If I've read the solicits.
Oh no, I dropped it at 50. I figured that was a nice turning point. I ended their current arc, and I'm like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah.
I realized it had become one of the books where I was just like kind of glossing over and getting it just to get it.
Yeah.
But I still loved what led up to it, but then it just kind of it changed creative teams and it just wasn't for me anymore.
I get that.
But anyway,
I caught up on all my comics this week. I don't know if you're still reading Superman.
I am. Wait, no, I'm reading Action, not Superman.
Okay, so Superman is dealing with the return of Jonathan from his travels with Grandpa Jor-El.
Okay.
And we all instantly thought that Jonathan is super evil. Like he's got to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if he is super evil, they haven't tipped their hand at all to it yet. You know, he's telling the story about how he got sucked through a wormhole and ended up on Earth 3.
Okay.
And was kept by Ultraman as a torture subject. But Ultraman is just kind of using him as therapy. It's kind of really fun, and I love Jonathan a lot. And I worry that they are going to turn him evil for some stupid reason. But this Superman run, I think, has been very, very good so far.
Okay. See, I've been really enjoying Action.
I like Action, too. I think I prefer Superman ever so slightly.
Interesting. Okay. What?
I also read Squirrel Girl number 50, number 42. The Squirrel Girl of 3 time periods.
Yep.
So, I love that Squirrel Girl exists.
I love that her and Kamala Khan are 2 characters that have blown up in popularity that if you had asked me 10 years ago, I would have called you insane.
Yeah, agreed.
Now, Chris, I looked up Black Magic because I wanted to see if it was over.
Uh-huh.
So Black Magic number 10, the previous issue, came out all the way back in January 24th of 2018.
Oh, dear.
It's been over a year. No, I'm sorry. Black Magic 11 came out March 28th, 2018. So it has, in 1 week, it'll be 1 year.
Well, that's also Nicola Scott as well, and she is very busy also.
Agreed. But man.
Yeah. No, I get you. Also, I want to talk briefly about the Grim Knight, the Batman Who Laughs spinoff.
Yes. Ooh. And
That was
I hesitate to call it a spinoff though, because it literally takes place in between issues 3 and 4.
yeah. I mean, I don't know that spinoff is the right word. I'm not sure what else to call it.
Okay.
Side story, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh,
You know what it actually reminds me of? No, that doesn't. Keep going.
so initially, I was kind of I was kind of thought we had put to bed the alternate Batman, and just had the Batman Who Laughs kind of be his own thing, like kind of like Dark Beast,
Yeah.
where he just is there. But I gotta say, like I find the Grim Knight kind of compelling and kind of cool in that way that teenagers think the Punisher is cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. If that's the most ringing endorsement, but there. I don't know. I think it's interesting and well worth a read. I mean, that first Batman Who Laughs trade should have it in it. So
I hope so.
But I kind of love kind of how sleazy he is, and I think I would read more of him.
I hope he sticks around.
I mean, the problem is that he killed everyone on his planet. So to live in this planet, he now has to become completely useless. Like he can't kill Penguin again.
Yeah.
But maybe he could be like Deathstroke. Who knows?
Who knows indeed. Maybe he'll get an epiphany.
Maybe.
I don't know. Anyway, that about wraps up for tonight.
Yeah, I think we did good.
We apologize that our pandering episode got delayed, but our good friend Doug and Josh both could not make it due to personal obligations would be a good word. So we decided not to do their topic while they were not here. That didn't seem right. So
yeah, we'll get them. We'll go next time.
Get it. And don't forget that next week I will be at PAX East.
Oh, are we not having a show next week?
Oh, we should be able to have a show. I'll let you know. I need to check when my flight leaves.
Okay. Yeah, PAX East to bring us the good video game news.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have so many video game impressions.
Good. We need them.
Cool guys, always, it's a pleasure to have you in chat. It's always fun to see you and engage with you. You're the best.
Yes, we love you.
We will see you next time.
Yeah. Good night, everyone.